Hi there, it's Tracy Lewin and
Peter Murray, good morning, Tracy.
how are you doing, Peter?
I'm doing fine. Yourselves?
Absolutely fantastic, thank you. It's the Bitcoin news review again. We've had an
Yeah,
exciting week.
it's been a very exciting week in the Bitcoin world, and I can't wait to get my teeth stuck into the news.
Sure, let's go ahead. Okay, so these headlines that you see on this page, you can actually find the full story on our Facebook page, media Facebook page. If there's anything that blows your hair back and you want to read more. So we can start off with a techie headline. Bitcoin miners and core developers release a SegWit hard fork agreement. Um, yeah, Peter, what do you think of this?
Well, I think if anybody that's not involved with Bitcoin reads this, they have no idea what people are talking about. So it is a pretty techy, but really what it means is that, they are making agreements on how they are going to make some additional development onto the blockchain. And this more news like this is going to come out all the time as the blockchain develops and more people start using it. They need to find ways to add more capacity and do things like that. So this is good news, and we'll see more of these type of stories coming out shortly.
Yes, exactly. And you know what? More and more industries are actually accepting or rather embracing blockchain technology. And here's healthcare. Philips Healthcare launches blockchain lab in R&D push. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, it is. And I think it's the second or third one that I've seen about healthcare companies getting involved with different things. The blockchain ledger, and like I've been explaining to people, Bitcoin is not is a computer program. And what it does is it creates an accounting ledger where you can create a unique entry. And the application of that is so wide. And we've seen all the financial firms getting involved because, of the fact that you can send value. That's what creates Bitcoin as a currency, basically, or a payment method. But also you can send all kinds of other stuff. And this is the next round of applications.
Yeah, I
And
know it's amazing.
I think a lot of companies is going to use technology.
Now, in terms of, there's another headline here, bid or buy .co.za. This is Africa's largest online marketplace. They're also accepting Bitcoin now. And in actual fact, we are going to just see more and more online businesses and businesses in general accepting Bitcoin.
It's happening everywhere. Is a bit of buy is like eBay in South Africa.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to see a lot of these companies starting to accept Bitcoin, and it's just becoming more and more mainstream. It's just a stream of news of companies adopting this is just not stopping. It's continuing at a breakneck pace.
Yes, which means more and more people are going to be accepting it. And in terms of price, I mean, we've had a lot of discussion about price. And here's a headline: Bitcoin price dips closer to $400 following network disruptions. And yeah, like anything new, there are going to be there are going to be disruptions here and there. It's progress.
No, it's absolutely true, and it's amazing that the price. I thought the price would have dropped more, but there's a constant stream of people buying bitcoins all the time. So and like you say, any disruptions that we're going to get is par for the course with any new technology that happens. So the price is any dip in price to me is just a buying opportunity.
And now here's another a headline: a Bitcoin stretched thin by massive adoption of blockchain technology. We're just seeing so many companies, so many countries. Actually, it's not even companies; it's countries that are also spending a lot of money on blockchain technology. And it's almost like the calm before the storm, because we are definitely going to be. I mean, I think we're going to be inundated with rollouts pretty soon. And it's almost like a tsunami of Bitcoin that's going to be, um, you know, washing over us, that's for sure.
Tracy, it's interesting, but it's like the internet in the early days. I remember the first time I sent an email, it took a few minutes to reach somebody. Now, if you send an email and it's not there immediately, people want to crack up. And Bitcoin is the same. We are used to transaction times of between 10 minutes and an hour. And if it takes 2 or 3 hours for the transaction to clear or to be verified, then people are starting to get upset. But if you think about it, it's still much faster than any other payment, a cross-border payment system or anything you can use. And as more people use the system, the network is always going to have that balance of creating new capacity all the time, just like the internet now with video streaming and stuff like that. A few years ago, you couldn't stream a live video on your phone because there was no bandwidth. Now you can almost watch live TV all day if you want on your cell phone.
No, no,
So it's just a matter of the technology, developing with the usage, and that will happen.
yes, exactly. Okay, 70% of financial institutions believe blockchain will be good for business. Now, interestingly enough, a little bit down in the article, they say notably this figure rose to 90% amongst financial institutions that reported a strong awareness of the technology. So banks, of course, are not going to let Bitcoin and the blockchain do its own thing. They are getting involved, boots and all. The banks certainly are not going to be left behind.
There's a big space for the banks to use their current systems and stuff, and facilitate Bitcoin as well, and make sure that it becomes mainstream, that you can use your card at the ATM, and have your Bitcoin on your account as well, in line with whatever other currency you're using. And the banks are going to use this technology for banking, for trading, for whatever, because you're right, the banks don't want to be left out, and if they don't go in and develop things that makes it easy for people to use Bitcoin, other people are going to develop it, and the banks are going to be bypassed. And the banks are determined not to be bypassed. They've seen the technology, and that's why all the big banks have Bitcoin teams, and they're developing this. And that's why it's going to go mainstream. The
Yeah,
products are being developed. You're going to have Bitcoin everywhere.
exactly, exactly. So best not to be left behind. Now, I actually put this article in because I have just installed an ad blocker. I'm in Dubai at the moment, and for some reason, I am being spammed with adverts and web pages like left, right, and center, and it's driving me crazy. So I actually installed an ad blocker on the weekend, and believe it or not, I'm still getting some ads coming through. But here, the digital publishers are really freaking out because they say they lost about $22 billion in revenue in 2015. And they believe that Bitcoin can be a solution to the ad blockers. So this is very, very interesting.
Well, the thing is, I was thinking of is that they can sell their content for a very low amount, almost like iTunes did uh, with music article, and charge a few, a fraction of a Bitcoin for it. And transactions are almost completely free. So, it can facilitate a very low amount, which there's and I think you're going to see a lot of that being developed, libraries of content.
And also, yeah, this is actually incredible. This is a different in fact, people and companies, rather, let's say, companies need to start thinking about how to advertise differently. So, yeah, I think watch this space. This is an interesting one, Peter. Why criminals can't hide behind Bitcoin. And following the Bitcoin breadcrumbs, quite an interesting headline there. Although Bitcoin has been designed to protect privacy, it actually generates abundant public data. So now you're going to have investigators and law enforcement who are going to be following the audit trail. And in fact, many of the miners, we are going to get miners who are going to volunteer to verify these transactions and add them to the blockchain, and it's going to mint new Bitcoins in the process. So I certainly think there's going to be a whole bunch of people that will put hand up to help with catching those criminals.
Yeah, that's a very interesting story, and like you said, it's a public ledger. Let public trails to go. So and think that your Bitcoin, if you're doing something wrong, there's going to be an audit trail where it can be followed.
Incredible. And here's a good story. So Bitwage is a new company, and it's the headline is Bitwage makes Bitcoin payroll easier with new features. So basically, if you're a freelancer and you're working on assignments for overseas clients, um, there are now you can get paid in Bitcoin, and the conventional option is to wire the money to the employee's account in a different country. And there are so many setbacks and issues around this in terms of time, in terms of whether it's legal tender, the currency conversions, transaction fees, and the list just goes on. Who actually has to pick up this bill? So Bitcoin can actually change a lot of that.
I think this is a great development, and like you say, a Bitcoin transaction can take a few hours at the very least, whereas a wire transfer to another country can take anywhere from 3 days to sometimes 14 days, depending on where you send it. So, there's no comparison. And then again, you've got the exchange rate fees, which is horrendous.
Yes.
So, yeah. And that is if the guy's in a country where he can accept, where he even has a bank account, you
Mm.
know. That is the other thing. There's also a lot of people doing work online that don't necessarily are even operating in the banking community. So, this just creates another opportunity for that whole mass of unbanked people to use.
Oh no, it's incredible. I just love this. I absolutely love Bitcoin. It's really going to change financial dealing with money and dealing with your finances a lot easier than the conventional way.
Well, it makes it a lot cheaper, doesn't it?
Exactly. So no more wasted money. Airbnb exec hints at how rental giant could use the blockchain. Now, this was quite interesting because this is all about trust, and they believe that a blockchain application could definitely help them improve user trust. So yeah, it's going from it's just amazing for me. I just am amazed at how many different businesses and different industries can get involved with blockchain.
Well, it's exactly right what you're saying. This is another example of a non-financial company. Airbnb is a travel agency, but online travel agency basically. And this is a perfect example how they get involved with the blockchain, and not a financial company. So that's why Bitcoin is so much bigger than you're creating a whole network on top of the internet that can be used for exchanging value or exchanging um, secure data. So it is unbelievable technology, and people just need to understand it. And if you're not involved, you're losing out big time.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree, and as you say, there are a lot of people that are doubters, and you have a lot of people fearful of something new. But honestly, imagine if we never embraced the internet. Imagine that. I mean, our lives would be so different today. I mean, it's brought us all together.
Actual, in fact,
Entire
Tracy,
world.
the people that are doubters and the people that are fearful are in the minority. There's a huge amount of people that doesn't heard from Bitcoin, but most people that hear about it actually try it and are not that fearful because people are used now to
Mm,
using new technologies. So
yeah,
it's actually not the case. So if you're sitting there and you're trying to be a skeptic or whatever, you've got to realize that you're in the minority. You're not in the majority.
yeah,
Most people are embracing this, and in actual fact, all the big banks, governments are embracing it, big banks are embracing it, big business are embracing it. So you're a little bit of a lone wolf if you're sitting there and
yeah,
saying things because of ignorance.
exactly, exactly. Okay, so Mizuho, which is a Japanese bank, trials blockchain for cross-border payments. Obviously they're also wanting to do the whole low-cost, low-risk cross-border security transactions, also on the blockchain, and or rather building a system utilizing the blockchain technology. So yeah, there the banks are doing it. We've got banks from all over the world that are trying to do stuff like this. But I think, Peter, you also had some dealings with someone who was doing cross-border payments, a
Yeah,
logistics
absolutely.
company.
It's a growing industry because, and the banks are very interested to get involved because for them, they've got to send money all the time from one place to another.
Right.
And if they can do it in Bitcoin and exchange it Bitcoin and the local exchange rate, it's such a big saving. I
Mm,
mean, it's just, and it's so much quicker. So I foresee a time when Bitcoin can actually start, supplanting the wire system. That's just going to be a matter of time that everything is going to be sent through the blockchain technology because it's so much cheaper. And that's why all the banks are developing it. Like I said, they don't want to be left out.
no.
They need to provide these seamless transactions for their clients, and they've been looking for something as well. Banks have been looking for this type of technology for years. And the big thing that Bitcoin brought to the table is that you're actually creating a unique digital print that cannot be duplicated and it cannot be erased. And that's why Bitcoin has value. And that's what people don't understand, how a digital currency can have value. The reason is, when you create a movie or a video or a song online or a book, people can take that and they can copy it and they can resell it. In other words, they can pirate your work. The way the blockchain was developed with the verification system, it means that you're creating a unique digital product that cannot be duplicated, it cannot be copied, and it cannot be reused. And it is unique. That it gives it value, and that is a technology that everyone has been looking for years, and that is the genius of the Bitcoin computer program.
Yes, exactly. No, honestly, this is totally unstoppable, Peter. Um, yeah, so I'm in Africa, well, South Africa to be exact, and an African internet pioneer launches Bitcoin mining facility. So this is a Ghana-based IT solutions firm, and they believe that they are the first in Africa, in the continent, to be launching this.
Oh, that's interesting. I saw that article. It's an internet service provider, and I think they just have excess computing power, and they're starting to use it to mine, which is fantastic.
Yes, absolutely. So we launched Women in Bitcoins yesterday. And what do you think of this, Peter?
I
This,
love the crypto girls, as I call them. I think it's a great idea. I think women are in the world now. In the US, I read the statistics the other day that three-quarters of new businesses in the United States are started by women. And now women have been snubbed by the whole corporate world. You still have very few women on the boards of Fortune 500 companies and stuff like that. But women are fighting back, and they're starting their own businesses, and really are becoming the entrepreneurs of the future. Bitcoin has been the domain of men since it started, but women are jumping into this opportunity and are going to start. There's a lot of Bitcoin businesses for women starting. So I think this news show that really saw the show that you've really started to feature women in Bitcoin, I think is a great idea, Tracy. And I think you're going to find a lot of women joining your channel and watching your show and wanting to take part. And men will also watch it because it's interesting, but it's really there. To empower women and to give them the knowledge they need. It's a fantastic idea you guys have.
well, I do recommend men watching this as well because you guys are always wanting to know what women want. So there you go.
Well, now we have a place to find out. Are you going to go into the deeper things of life as well besides
Well,
Bitcoin?
remember what we said. We said empower, encourage, and enrich. And also there's enjoy, and there's a whole bunch of things as well. And you know what? We are going to take this to the next levels. Who
So
knows
now
what?
we have an emotional application of the blockchain. What next?
Okay, so we'll end off with this Bitcoin quote. Bitcoin is the people's currency. It is not for the lucky few. Bitcoin is for everyone. And you know, this is what I really love about Bitcoin, because it's a democracy. It's not owned by anyone, and it's for everyone. And I just love it.
I love it as well. And, and if you're not involved in Bitcoin, you should get involved. And the best way to get involved is firstly, to build your knowledge. And the way to build your knowledge is to go to the link below this video and subscribe to our channel and start there.
Absolutely. So that's been a wonderful week, Peter. I'm looking forward to next week, of course. And, there's always something happening on the Bitcoin front that is exciting. And, let's go onward and upward.
Onwards and upwards. Okay, Tracy, we'll talk again. I'm looking forward to next week as well.
Thank you,
Thank
Peter.
you.
Have a good week.